Questions for Mr. Owen?
Well, I'm trying to think because it's been an interesting conversation. We touched a lot of topics, man.
Yeah, in
Very,
a short
very,
amount of
very
time too.
swiftly.
Let's keep going. Keep
Um,
it going.
keep it going. Go, go, go. Yeah, I lied. Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
You can't
Um,
leave Darkness Rises string, man. You can't. It just keeps you drawn in.
yeah, Chris Ravdu's alive. Personal story. I don't know if you guys give a shit or not, but Chris and I became pretty good friends while working there. And there are some decisions that I kind of cringed that he made, but I will say this about Chris. He was a ballsy person. He kept his creativity, and even if he was wrong, he stood behind it, which a lot of people just kind of folded. Um, and he did have some kind of crazy ideas, but at least when EA kind of put the hammer down, he said, "Fuck you, I'm getting out of here." like, um, he really did stand up for his creativity till he just had to leave because EA was pushing down on him too much. So I give him 100% props. He's a good man. He was a single father and a good person. We'd hang out outside of work at some social functions at different people and developers' houses and stuff. And he was just laid back. To this day, um, I can see him singing "Dead or Alive" on Rock Band 2 at a party we were at, just having fun. Like, he was a good guy. And so I have to say, props to Chris. It was good times. And they did a lot of things culturally. We talk about like corporate culture or gaming culture, right? And they provided us with big lounges with Rock Band and video games and beer and food. And a lot of people say, hey, EA treats their people bad. Maybe monetarily they treat you like any other company treats an employee. Money kind of sucks, you know what I mean? That's almost every company. But as far as a culture and trying to create creativity, we'd have like ping pong tournaments and foosball tournaments. And later on, we actually, as a company, Mythic, went into League of Legends, and Mythic would play in their like corporate ladder matches, and we had the Mythic freaking League of Legends, team, and they supported that and actually let us, on our free time, play and get better. I mean, if any other company that's be like, yeah, go ahead and play a video game for a couple hours, you're cool, get paid for it. Like, people beat on EA a lot, but man, I don't see a lot of companies letting you play video games. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
there's,
that's just
but they knew that that's
cultivating
an
the culture.
investment. Yeah, they knew it was an investment also. Like, look, you're learning and getting involved with the gaming community. Fine, go ahead and spend a couple hours on it. That's the least we can do, right? So,
Right. And then one thing before I forget,
yeah.
is there any like capture files or any kind of assets that you still have from the old games?
Oh man. Um. So I know I have my own logs from playing Eternal Magus, right? And I kept all the old staff logs. This was required of us to keep the old staff logs. I haven't looked at them really or looked much up on them, but a lot of that still does exist. I think it exists in a lot of places. What was kind of odd, and something I guess I didn't touch on, is that I had an ulterior motive when I got hired at EA at Mythic, because the game was shutting down. I didn't want it to. So, as much as I didn't have contacts, didn't have, one of the reasons I became good friends with Chris is because I was like, Chris, where's DFC? Where's it at? I'm thinking I'm gonna steal the server and run it. Like, I would not have, but I had always asked questions about that. And one of the interesting things is, because of this transitional thing, I'm sure they have backup somewhere at EA because they took a capture or whatever they do, an image, but it disappeared. They had to shut it down, and then with the corporate influx and everything else going on, a lot of stuff did just disappear, man. Just gone. We got better servers. EA gave us a ton of money, knew everything, and get rid of everything old, and it literally did disappear. So, uh, I'm watching your stream here now, buddy.
Yeah. It looks like
Will is here. Yeah. Hey, Will. How you doing?
what's up, Navi? How's it going, man?
Actually, interesting story. Like, community is a big thing in video games for me, and that's why I'm glad to see this come back and see a bit of community support. But interesting story on how I met Nobby, Will, who's a good friend in real life now. I was with an ex-girlfriend at the time, and we were going to her friend's place of work, which was a bridal emporium. She did bride dresses or something, and then Will was a friend of that person who showed up. And so I'm at this bride emporium with my girlfriend, and I'm just like, oh, why the fuck do I have to be here? And there's this goofy-looking kid named Will. Sorry, I'm calling you out, Will. No, it's a gentleman named Will, and we just started talking, hanging out, because I think he was waiting for them to go play D&D. And I start talking, and it's like, yeah, I play a text-based game. You play, what's it called, Darkness Falls? I play too. I'm Nobby. Dude, I'm a Eternal Magus. Yo, what's up? Like, met in public, and we had both played this game for probably a year or so, and all of a sudden it's like, dude, what's going on? Best night of my life after being dragged to a bridal emporium for the fucking night. You know what I mean? Like, our full database is available anywhere, in particular the origin ID, destination ID of objects. I'm sure they are somewhere. I would have no idea where they're at the moment. I'm sure EA, being an intellectual properties company, has all of that and in triplicate and quadruplicate somewhere stashed away. Do they know where all of it is? Probably not, right? So yes, I do have my staff logs and my personal logs when I was in the game. I've got an old hard drive that, as I get computers, I'd put on an external hard drive all the files I wanted to keep. And at this point, it's a 2 terabit drive we're talking from AOL 3.0, like roleplay logs of chat rooms, and like it's a slew of a mess of my life. But it's kind of neat to keep that kind of thing. So. Yeah, Cordova was a bad sin. You don't want him healing you. You'll die. Watch out. Nah. It's actually a pretty good sin. I can remember plenty of times him going up to, what was it called? He'd go down to the Underdark, because I was an idiot, and would go down to the Underdark all the frickin' time. And then the place with the dragons, I can't remember what that was called. In Evil, one of the newer places they let out, had all the fucking prismatic dragons and all that shit up there.
Was it like the Eastern Desert or something like that?
Eastern Desert, and Cordova will come save my ass. He'd get on his sin and come save me, bail me out every time. Thank you, Will. And just an instance of, like, we talked about, watch the cheating, watch the balance, and everything else. One of the things, I'll tell you how I cheated, if anyone cares to know. The Underdark was like a underused area that no one ever really went to. It had some cool mobs, and it had some cool dungeons, and like a keep underneath there. But there's a keep where you could buy this item, and it was black studded leather armor. Blackened studded leather armor. And I went on my staff member and said, you know what? I wear studded. There's not really good studded invasion gear you can get. I pumped the stats on it. It was as good as some of the best armor. So if you went to the Underdark, went and got black and studded leather armor, bought it, put it on, you had some really good invasion gear. And that was one of the ways I kind of cheated. My apologies, guys. I was also like 15 at the time, okay? But I pumped one item. I was like, you know what? This just needs a little pump. We'll get some good studded invasion gear. Yeah. Yeah, I have logs of the Underdark. I'd really have to go through, but I know because I pumped that one item, I went there plenty of times to go grab it, and so I logged everything. So, yeah, I can find logs of the Underdark. That's not a problem. So, looks like, where the hell are you?
So, what I'm working on now, it's kind of the new boot camps for each specific realm.
Cool.
But it's going to be a little more elaborated, so it's not going to be like, oh hey, there's 10 rooms full of training mobs telling you how to play the game, and then like 20 rooms of just mobs. It's going to be a little bit more involved.
Yeah, that was why I didn't play DF1. I started in DF1 and made my character, and you were in this training camp, and I was so lost and disillusioned. I was just like, oh, that was kind of neat. I'm done with this game. And then it was DF2 that really got me excited because I started and there was really no training camp. I was put in a guild, though, and then I set a guild sign out, and then everyone probably remembers Rigor Mortis, but Rigor Mortis kind of took me under his wing. He's like, dude, I got you. You're a vampire? Check this out. This is what you can do. And so it was community helping rather than, a training camp. And I'm not saying it can't be well done, but that's what I really like about that text-based feel is that the community actually helped people. They cared. And that's why I like to see games like this come back.
Right. So what would be kind of your suggestion for the new kids that come into a game like this for the first time, and how would you go about keeping them into a game that's so kind of obscure?
Well, and that's more of a development question, which, thankfully I have some experience. May not be the best, but some. Honestly, if they're coming to a text-based game, you've already kind of won them over because they're coming to the game knowing it's text-based, and they're either feeling nostalgic for a text-based game they miss, or they want to see what it's about, so you've kind of already got a little bit of an advantage, and all you really want to do is get your community behind them. One of the things that has kind of spawned from the new generation of gamings is communities. And if you foster the people and someone comes in new that doesn't know what they're doing, if you help those people out and have your community help them out, you're going to keep them. They're going to be long-term because it feels good to come up someplace new, feel invited, get the help you need, and become a part of it. So I would say just foster your community as much as you can, man.
Gotcha, yeah. Well, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely out of questions, or new ones anyway. So feel free to, if you have any more. Yeah. Not much else to say.
No, it's good. It has been a pleasure talking to you. Obviously, you and I have been talking for quite some time. Good friends. And I'll put a plug in for Owen because I think the people that are here now are excited because they see some momentum. They see something in action, something in working, and it's kind of gotten them up and hopeful. And being someone who has seen many of the types of recreations or trying to get that flavor back and being let down over and over again, even my own attempt at it, I can tell you, knowing Owen, is that he's got his foot down, his ass is to the fire, and he's going to do what he's saying he's going to do because he believes in it. He loves it, and we can see the forward momentum here. So I just got to give you, a round of applause, my friend, for doing what I wish I could do. But you've got the drive and momentum to do it, and I'm glad to see it, dude. And I'm hoping, sometime next year here, I can at least get in and test some of this stuff. It looks fantastic, dude.
Absolutely, it's very much appreciated. I think without people such as yourself, like I've said before, it wouldn't be as fun or as meaningful. So I appreciate your kind words, sir, and you're more than welcome anytime to come hang out with us. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel the bite on the back of your neck. That was me. I was there. So I'll tell you what my best enjoyment of the game was, and maybe I want to hear yours just to get on the same book. But for me, being in an enemy realm where it took so much build up, getting the gear and